The mockery, the ultimatum, the galactic assembly. Halls stretched beneath a transparent dome that revealed the star-filled void beyond. 200 species gathered here, their forms ranging from crystalline beings that sang in light, frequencies to massive aquatic creatures floating in specialized suspension fields. Today, they assembled not for trade negotiations or cultural exchanges, but to witness what many believed would be humanity's final diplomatic appearance. Ambassador Elena Torres walked across the polished floor, her footsteps echoing in the vast chamber. She was 42 years old, gray already threading through her dark hair, earned from 7 years navigating galactic politics. Around her, the alien delegates whispered through their various means of communication. Some used sound, others used chemical signals, and a few communicated through patterns of bioluminescence. The translation devices embedded throughout the hall converted everything into a low murmur of anticipation. The Kryn delegation occupied the largest section of the chamber. They were a proud species, their bodies covered in armor-like scales that shimmered between deep purple and crimson. Admiral Vexer stood at their center, his forearms crossed in a gesture that translated clearly across species barriers as contempt. Behind him, holographic displays showed the Kryn Armada, 5,000 warships arranged in battle formation near the human colony system of New Terra. Elena reached the central platform and activated the speaking console. Her voice carried through the chamber, translated simultaneously into 200 languages. Members of the Galactic Assembly, humanity has received Admiral Vexer's ultimatum. The Kryn Empire demands we surrender our 3 colony worlds within 72 hours. They threaten total annihilation if we refuse. She paused, letting the silence build. Humanity rejects this ultimatum. We will defend our colonies. We will defend our people. We are sending 1 ship. The silence lasted exactly 4 seconds before laughter erupted throughout the chamber. It started with the Kryn, Admiral Vexer's booming laugh resonating like thunder. The sound spread quickly. The insectoid Chatrix delegates clicked their mandibles in what their species called humor. The gaseous Nephron beings pulsed with colors that indicated amusement. Even the usually dignified Peleron traders, humanity's closest allies, looked away in what seemed like embarrassment. Admiral Vexer stepped forward, his scales now bright red with what Elena recognized as satisfaction. 1 ship, he announced, his voice amplified for all to hear. We bring 5,000 vessels of war, ships that have conquered 40 systems, and humanity sends 1 ship. This is not bravery. This is suicide presented as strategy. More laughter followed. A Skrull representative, its tentacles waving excitedly, called out, "Perhaps they believe in miracles." This prompted another wave of amusement. Elena remained standing at the podium, her expression unchanged. She had expected this reaction. Earth's intelligence services had predicted it down to the minute. She waited for the noise to subside, then spoke again. "The Defiant will arrive at New Terra in 60 hours. Admiral Vexer, we suggest you prepare your fleet accordingly." The laughter grew louder as she left the platform. Walking through the corridor outside, surrounded by her security detail, Elena heard the mockery continuing behind her. One of her guards, a young lieutenant named Chun, spoke quietly. "Ambassador, they think we are joking." Elena glanced at him. "Let them think that for 60 more hours. Then everything changes." The entertainment, the news spread across the galaxy at faster than light speeds. Within 12 hours, every civilization with communication technology knew about humanity's response. The entertainment networks made it their primary content. A Kryn comedy program broadcast a sketch showing a tiny human ship approaching the massive armada, then immediately turning around and fleeing. The viewership numbers broke records. Galactic social networks exploded with content. Someone created an animation showing the human ship arriving at New Terra, taking one look at the Kryn fleet, and promptly jumping away to another galaxy. It accumulated 15 billion shares within a day. Another popular creation showed a human captain sending a surrender message before even leaving. Earth's solar system. Military analysts across 100 worlds appeared on discussion programs. They displayed tactical simulations showing the size difference between one human vessel and 5,000 Kryn warships. The comparison looked absurd. One analyst, a renowned strategist from the Korean Collective, attempted to be diplomatic. Perhaps humanity has developed something unexpected, she suggested, her multiple eyes blinking thoughtfully. Perhaps this vessel carries technology we have not seen. But even she could not hide the doubt in her voice. The numbers were too extreme. No amount of technological advancement could overcome such overwhelming odds. Basic physics and mathematics made it impossible. The betting markets across the galaxy offered odds on how long the human ship would survive. The most generous estimates gave it 5 minutes after engaging the Kryn fleet. Most predicted less than 2 minutes. Some betting houses refused to take wagers at all, claiming the outcome was too certain to be considered gambling. The silent watchers, yet not every civilization joined the mockery. 3 notable species remained conspicuously silent. The Zeridians, a militaristic race that had fought a brief but intense war with humanity 40 years earlier, offered no public commentary. Their government buildings went dark, communication channels closed, and their representatives stopped appearing at public functions. When a persistent journalist finally cornered a Zeridian military attaché, he spoke only 7 words. "We remember what happened last time." Then he left without explanation. The war between Zeridians and humans had been short, lasting only 8 months. On paper, the Zeridians should have won easily. They possessed superior numbers and more advanced weapons. Yet humanity had fought with tactics that defied military doctrine. They used their ships in ways that violated standard strategic principles. They turned every disadvantage into something unexpected. The war ended in a negotiated peace, but the Zeridians never spoke publicly about the details. Their military academy removed all records of the conflict from public access. The Korean Collective, known throughout the galaxy for their predictive computational abilities, also went silent. Their massive quantum computers could calculate the probable outcome of any military engagement with 98% accuracy. They had successfully predicted the results of over 10,000 conflicts throughout galactic history, but the human situation broke their calculations. The computers ran for 3 standard days without reaching conclusions. Instead, they produced impossible scenarios, mathematical paradoxes, outcomes where one ship defeated thousands through means that violated known physics. The Korean prime strategist reviewed the incomplete results and immediately ordered emergency protocols enacted. When his advisors asked what kind of emergency, he gave a single instruction: move our border colonies away from human space. Do it quietly. Do it now. The prescience, an ancient species that rarely involved themselves in galactic affairs, sent a brief message to the Galactic Assembly. It contained one sentence: underestimating younger species has destroyed civilizations older than ours. The Assembly members read it and dismissed it as typical prescient cryptic warnings. The prescients always spoke in riddles and prophecies. No one took them seriously anymore. The Defiant on Earth, in a command facility hidden beneath the Antarctic ice sheet, Elena Torres stood before a massive display screen. The facility had no official name and appeared on no public records. Only 47 people in humanity's government knew it existed. President James Okafor stood beside her, along with Fleet Admiral Sarah Kimani. They watched as the screen showed a vessel in deep space, far beyond Neptune's orbit where human detection systems could not observe its launch. Defiant looked unremarkable from the exterior. She measured 400 meters long, approximately the size of a standard destroyer-class vessel. Her hull showed no unusual features or exotic designs. She appeared to be exactly what the Kryn expected, a conventional military ship sent on a desperate, futile mission. But appearances meant nothing. Inside that ordinary hull existed technology that humanity had developed in absolute secrecy for 18 years. Technology that violated several supposed laws of physics. Technology that would rewrite galactic understanding of what was possible. Asterisk status report. Admiral Kimani requested. A technician responded from his console. The Defiant is running dark, Admiral. 0 emissions. No civilization can track her current position. Captain Reed reports all systems functioning within optimal parameters. Elena studied the image of the ship. How is the crew? Captain Reed says they are ready. They have trained for this scenario for 6 years. They know what the Defiant can do. The technician paused. They are eager to prove it. President Okafor turned to face Elena. Once we reveal what the Defiant truly is, there is no going back. The galaxy will never see us the same way. Every civilization will recalculate their relationship with humanity. Some will fear us. Others will want to either ally with us or destroy us before we become too powerful. Elena had considered these implications countless times. We knew this moment would come eventually. Someone would test us. Someone would assume we were weak because we are new to the galactic community. Better to show them now what happens when they make that assumption. Better to do it on our terms, in a situation we have prepared for. Admiral Kimani pulled up additional displays showing the Kryn fleet. 5,000 ships arranged in standard battle formation around New Terra. Their positioning showed absolute confidence. They had not even bothered with defensive arrangements. They expected no real resistance. The Kryn have made every mistake possible, the Admiral observed. They have underestimated us completely. They have concentrated their fleet in one location. They have made no preparations for unconventional tactics. They believe their numbers guarantee victory. Pride, Elena said quietly. It makes civilizations blind. The Kryn have ruled their sector for 800 years. They have never faced serious opposition. They think military might is purely about numbers and firepower. President Okafor looked at the Defiant on the screen. And we are about to teach them a very different lesson. The facility's main computer announced the countdown. Defiant will arrive at New Terra in 58 hours. 14 minutes. Elena thought about the Galactic Assembly, about Admiral Vexer's mocking laughter, about the billions of beings across the galaxy treating humanity's response as entertainment. She thought about the comedy sketches and the betting markets and the military. Analysts who could not imagine how one ship might survive. In 58 hours, the laughter would stop. In 58 hours, the galaxy would learn that humanity's greatest strength was not military might or advanced technology, though they possessed both. Humanity's greatest strength was their ability to think differently, to approach problems from angles no other species considered, to survive and adapt in ways that defied conventional wisdom. The Kryn had sent 5,000 ships expecting an easy conquest. They had calculated based on numbers and firepower and traditional military doctrine. But humanity had not prepared for traditional warfare. Humanity had prepared to rewrite the rules entirely. Captain Marcus Reed sat in the Defiant's command chair, watching the stars stream past on the main view screen. His crew of 73 worked at their stations with practiced efficiency. They had trained together for 6 years, running simulations of this exact scenario hundreds of times. Lieutenant Commander Priya Nakamura occupied the engineering station, monitoring systems that would seem like science fiction to any other species. Chief Weapons Officer David Cowrie ran final checks on armaments that existed nowhere else in known space. Medical Officer Dr. Rashida Al-Mansur prepared equipment she hoped would remain unused. Though she followed protocols regardless, Marcus had served in humanity's space forces for 24 years. He had commanded conventional vessels, fought pirates, and explored uncharted systems. Nothing in his experience compared to the Defiant. Nothing he had seen matched what this ship could accomplish. Status update. He requested .priy, a responded from engineering. All systems nominal, Captain. Power core stable. Quantum field generators operating at 100% efficiency. We could maintain maximum combat operations for 6 months without resupply. David added his report. Weapons systems fully charged and ready. I have firing solutions prepared for multiple scenarios. All safeties engaged until you give authorization. Marcus nodded. He opened the ship-wide communication channel. All crew, this is the captain. In approximately 58 hours, we will engage the Kryn fleet at New Terra. I know what you are thinking. You are thinking about the 5,000 ships waiting for us. You are thinking about the entire galaxy laughing at humanity's response. He paused, letting his words carry through every section of the ship. Let them laugh. Let them mock. Let them think we are fools. Because in 58 hours, we are going to show them something they have never seen before. We are going to demonstrate what humanity does best: survive, adapt, and win against impossible odds. The Kryn expect a battle. They expect us to engage them conventionally, to fight according to their rules, their tactics, their understanding of warfare. We are not going to give them that battle. We are going to show them a new kind of warfare entirely. And when we finish, the galaxy will never underestimate humanity again. He closed the channel and returned his attention to the view screen. The Defiant moved silently through space, invisible to sensors, impossible to track. She carried the hopes of 3 colonies, 7 billion humans spread across 4 systems, and the future relationship between humanity and 200 alien civilizations. In 58 hours. Everything would change. The galaxy jeered and laughed and made jokes. They created entertainment from humanity's apparent foolishness. They placed bets on how quickly the human ship would be destroyed. None of them understood what was truly coming. None of them realized they were about to witness the birth of a new galactic. Powered out, the countdown continued. 58 hours until arrival. 58 hours until the galaxy stopped laughing. Asterisk the revelation arrival. The Defiant dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the New Terra system. On the bridge, Captain Marcus Reed watched as the sensors immediately painted the tactical situation. 5,000 Kryn warships filled the display, arranged in a blockade formation around the 3 human colony worlds. Tactical analysis, Marcus ordered. Lieutenant Commander Nakamura brought up the data on the main screen. Confirmed 5,000 vessels, Captain. Composition includes 2,000 destroyers, 1,500 cruisers, 1,000 battleships, 300 carriers with fighter complements, and 200 support vessels. Total estimated crew, 4.2 million. They are maintaining standard formation with the flagship at center. David Cowrie added his assessment from weapons. They have positioned themselves to maximize firepower concentration. Classic overwhelming force doctrine. They expect any opposition to engage conventionally and be destroyed by sheer volume of fire. Marcus studied the formation carefully. The Kryn had made exactly the mistakes humanity hoped they would make. They concentrated their forces, arranged themselves predictably, and showed no indication they expected anything unusual. Communications. Open a channel to the Kryn flagship. Make it broadcast so everyone in the system can hear. The communications officer worked quickly. Channel open, sir. Broadcasting on all frequencies. Marcus stood, straightening his uniform. Admiral Vexer of the Kryn Empire, this is Captain Marcus Reed of the human vessel Defiant. We have received your ultimatum regarding our colony worlds. Humanity rejects your demands. You have one opportunity to withdraw your fleet peacefully. This is your only warning. For several seconds, silence filled the channel. Then Admiral Vexer's voice came through, accompanied by laughter from his bridge crew. Captain Red, I admire your courage, even while I pity your foolishness. One ship against 5,000. Your words are brave but meaningless. We will destroy you quickly, then take your colonies. Perhaps we will name a monument after you before claiming your worlds. The transmission ended with more laughter. Marcus sat back down, his expression unchanged. As expected, they believe this is theater, not a real threat. Priya spoke from engineering. Captain, I am reading massive power fluctuations across their fleet. They are charging weapons. All 5,000 ships. Marcus nodded slowly. They want to make a statement. They want to vaporize us with overwhelming firepower so the colonies watch and understand their helplessness. He looked at his weapons officer. David, prepare Defensive System Alpha. Let's show them their first lesson. Defensive System Alpha ready, Captain. Engaging on your mark. The Kryn fleet fired as one coordinated unit. 5,000 warships unleashed their weapons simultaneously. Energy beams, plasma cannons, kinetic projectiles, and antimatter missiles crossed the distance toward the Defiant. The combined firepower could crack a planet's crust or vaporize a small moon. Every weapon system the Kryn possessed focused on one target. The space around the Defiant erupted in blinding light. Explosions cascaded over each other, creating a sphere of destruction that grew and expanded. The energy release registered on sensors throughout the system. On New Terra below, colonists watched through telescopes and view screens. Many turning away in grief. In the Kryn flagship, Admiral Vexer watched the explosion with satisfaction. His scales rippled with colors indicating pleasure. Foolish humans, he muttered. They had such potential, but pride blinded them. Then the light began to fade. The explosions dissipated into space. The sensors cleared, and the Defiant emerged, moving forward steadily. Without a single mark on her hull. Admiral Vexer leaned forward in his command chair, his scales shifting to colors that meant confusion. What is this? How is this possible? His tactical officer studied the sensor readings frantically. Sir, our weapons had no effect. The ship absorbed everything. I am reading no damage at all, not even shield depletion. It is as if our attack never happened. On the Defiance bridge, Marcus allowed himself a slight smile. Damage report. Priya checked her console. 0 damage, Captain. The quantum absorption hull performed exactly as designed. All incoming energy was converted and stored in our power reserves. We actually gained energy from their attack. Marcus opened a channel back to the Kryn flagship. Admiral Vexer, that was impressive firepower. Unfortunately for you, humanity spent 18 years developing hull materials that operate on principles your civilization has not discovered. We can absorb and convert energy attacks. Your weapons only make us stronger. He paused. Now let me show you what real weapons look like. The first lesson. Marcus turned to his weapons officer. David, Fire System 1. Single target demonstration. Choose their forward command destroyer. David's hands moved across his controls with practiced precision. System 1 ready. Target locked. Firing. The Defiant's hull shimmered as panels slid away to reveal a weapon that looked nothing like conventional armaments. There was no visible barrel, no charging glow, no warning signs. The weapon simply activated. What emerged was not a beam or projectile. It was a directed gravitational wave, a ripple in the fabric of space-time itself. The wave crossed the distance to the targeted Kryn destroyer in less than a second. The destroyer did not explode or burn. Instead, the gravitational wave compressed it, crushing the vessel inward from all directions simultaneously. The ship's molecular structure could not withstand the impossible forces. In 3 seconds, a warship 400 meters long became a sphere of hyperdense matter barely 20 meters in diameter. The compressed remains drifted away, too dense to be affected by normal gravity. Silence filled the communication channels. Every Kryn captain stared at their sensors, trying to understand what they had witnessed. Their instruments showed the event clearly, but could not explain it. Marcus let them process this for exactly 10 seconds. Then he spoke again. That was one weapon on minimal power against one target. We have 11 more weapon systems, each operating on principles you have never encountered. System 1 uses controlled gravitational manipulation. Would you like to see System 2? It involves molecular disassembly at the quantum level. Or perhaps System 3, which creates localized temporal distortions. He kept his voice calm and professional. You brought 5,000 ships to threaten 3 colony worlds filled with families, scientists, and farmers. You expected us to surrender or be destroyed easily. You made a fundamental error, Admiral. You assumed humanity would follow the same technological development paths as other species. We did not. Marcus stood and walked closer to the view screen. 18 years ago, humanity made a collective decision. We realized the galaxy was dangerous. We realized being new to the galactic community made us vulnerable. So we took every piece of technology you species shared with us, every scientific principle you taught us, and we pushed beyond it. We explored theoretical physics you dismissed as impossible. We built weapons based on principles you claim violate natural laws, while you laughed at us as primitives learning from our betters. We were actually studying you as children study teachers, learning everything you knew and then surpassing it. The Defiant represents what happens when humans decide to rewrite the rules of warfare. Admiral Vexer finally found his voice. This is some kind of deception, some trick. One ship cannot possess such power. Marcus returned to his command chair. Your sensors recorded everything. Your instruments show no deception. You are a military commander, Admiral. You understand tactical reality. I have demonstrated that your weapons cannot harm us, and that our weapons can destroy your ships effortlessly. You have 5,000 vessels, but quantity means nothing when quality differences are this extreme. He leaned forward slightly. Here's what happens next. You will order your fleet to withdraw from human space immediately. You will do this in the next 5 minutes. If you do not, I will demonstrate System 2 by disassembling 10 of your battleships at the molecular level. Then I will demonstrate System 3 by creating temporal distortions that age another 10 ships until they collapse. I will continue demonstrating our capabilities until you either withdraw or no longer possess ships capable of threatening anyone. Marcus's voice hardened. Understand me clearly, Admiral. We do not want to kill millions of your crew members. We do not want this conflict. But we absolutely will not allow you to threaten our colonies. The choice is yours. Withdraw now or face systematic destruction. You have 5 minutes. The channel closed. Marcus sat back and watched the tactical display. The Kryn fleet remained motionless, 5,000 ships frozen in formation. He could imagine the panic spreading through their command structure. Captains calling their admiral, demanding orders, questioning whether the human demonstration was real. Priya spoke quietly from engineering. Captain, I am detecting communication bursts throughout their fleet. Massive data transfer. They are sharing sensor recordings, trying to analyze what we did. Let them analyze, Marcus replied. The more they understand how outmatched they are, the easier this becomes. David added, multiple ships are charging weapons again. Some captains are considering another attack. Marcus shook his head. They are desperate. They cannot accept that overwhelming numbers mean nothing against our technology. He opened the channel again. Admiral Vexer, I detect some of your ships preparing to fire. I strongly advise against this. You have already seen that your weapons cannot harm us. Another attack will only give us more energy while demonstrating your failure to learn from experience. 3 minutes had passed. The Kryn fleet still had not moved. Marcus could feel the tension on his bridge. His crew trusted the Defiant's capabilities, but facing 5,000 warships still created psychological pressure. At 4 minutes, sensor alerts began sounding. Captain, Priya announced, the Kryn fleet is breaking formation. Ships are beginning to withdraw. Marcus watched as the tactical display showed the truth. Individual ships at the fleet's edges started moving away from New Terra. Then more joined them. The organized formation began to dissolve as fear overcame military discipline. Admiral, Vexer's voice came through the communication channel, barely controlled rage making his words harsh. You have made a terrible enemy today, Captain Reed. The Kryn Empire will not forget this humiliation. Marcus responded calmly. We did not make you our enemy, Admiral. You made that choice when you came to threaten our colonies. We simply demonstrated why that choice was a mistake. If you wish to be allies or trading partners in the future, humanity remains open to peaceful relations. But if you wish to be enemies, remember what happened here. Remember how easily we countered your best efforts. Remember that the Defiant is not humanity's only ship with these capabilities. That last statement was a calculated bluff. The Defiant was currently humanity's only vessel equipped with the advanced systems. But Admiral Vexer had no way to verify that. And the statement would create doubt and fear throughout the Kryn military. The Kryn fleet continued its withdrawal, ships jumping to faster-than-light speeds as quickly as their drives could engage. Within 20 minutes, all 5,000 vessels had departed the New Terra system. The colonies were safe. Marcus opened a ship-wide channel. All hands, this is the captain. The Kryn fleet has withdrawn. The colonies are secure. You performed your duties perfectly. Every system worked exactly as designed. Humanity is safe because of your dedication and skill. Well done. Cheers erupted through the ship. 6 years of training, months of tension, and hours of combat stress released in moments of celebration. Marcus allowed it to continue for exactly 30 seconds before speaking again. Maintain battle stations. We will patrol the system until we confirm the Kryn have fully withdrawn. Then we can properly celebrate. Galactic response. The footage spread across the galaxy faster than the Kryn fleet fled. Every news network, every social media platform, every communication channel carried the recording. The galaxy watched the Kryn fleet's massive attack fail completely. They watched one human ship emerge undamaged. They watched a Kryn destroyer compressed into a tiny sphere of hyperdense matter in 3 seconds. The entertainment programs that had mocked humanity went silent. The comedians who made jokes found their material suddenly inappropriate. The betting houses that offered odds on how quickly the human ship would die began processing massive losses. Military analysts who had dismissed humanity's chances now appeared on emergency broadcasts looking shaken. The same Korean strategist who had suggested humans might have something unexpected spoke again, her multiple eyes wide. This changes everything. The human ship demonstrated technology operating on principles we thought were purely theoretical. Controlled gravitational manipulation, quantum absorption materials, these are concepts from advanced theoretical physics. No one believed they could be weaponized. Another analyst, a veteran Skrull military officer, added his perspective. The Kryn brought 5,000 ships. They should have won easily by any conventional calculation. The fact that one human vessel countered them completely means humanity has achieved a technological breakthrough, equivalent to discovering fire or inventing the wheel. This is a civilization-defining advancement. In the Galactic Assembly, an emergency session convened. The chamber that had been filled with laughter days earlier now held only stunned silence. Representatives whispered to each other in shock and fear. Admiral Vexer's mocking words played on repeat in everyone's memory. Ambassador Elena Torres appeared before the assembly again. This time, no one laughed. No one made jokes. They watched her with expressions ranging from fear to respect calculation. Members of the assembly, Elena began, humanity did not seek this confrontation. We responded to aggression with measured force. We demonstrated our capabilities while minimizing casualties. The Kryn fleet withdrew with minimal losses. This was deliberate. We wanted to show what we could do while proving we prefer peaceful resolution. A representative from the Manther Confederacy stood. Ambassador Torres, your ship demonstrated weapons technology beyond anything in known space. How many such vessels does humanity possess? Elena smiled slightly. That information relates to our defensive capabilities and security. I am not authorized to disclose specific fleet compositions. However, I can say that the Defiant is not unique. Humanity has prepared for our defense comprehensively. Another representative asked, will humanity share this technology with other species? Advanced defensive technology sharing would require extensive negotiations and careful consideration, Elena replied. We are not opposed to such discussions in principle, but we must ensure any shared technology serves peaceful purposes and does not destabilize galactic security. The assembly continued with questions for over an hour. Each answer Elena provided revealed little while suggesting much. She carefully crafted responses that maintained mystery while projecting confidence. Let the other species wonder and speculate. Uncertainty served humanity's interests better than full disclosure. The Zeridians finally broke their silence. Their representative stood, his expression carefully neutral. 40 years ago, we fought humanity in a brief war. We possessed superior numbers and technology. Yet the conflict ended in a draw that we called a peace treaty. Today, I understand why. Humanity fights differently than other species. They think differently. They find solutions where others see only problems. The galaxy has underestimated them since they joined our community. I suggest we all stop making that mistake. The Corian Prime strategist also addressed the assembly through remote connection. Our probability computers could not calculate the outcome of this engagement. They produced impossible scenarios because they were working with incomplete data. We assumed humans would develop technology along familiar paths. This was our error. Humanity has demonstrated they are capable of revolutionary breakthroughs, not merely evolutionary improvements. Any future calculations involving human capabilities must account for this fundamental difference. The Pretians sent another message, longer this time. We warned against underestimating humanity. We have watched many young species join the galactic community. Most follow predictable patterns. Humanity does not. They possess remarkable adaptability and creativity. Combined with determination and willingness to think unconventionally, these traits make them formidable. The Kryn learned this lesson at minimal cost. Others may not be so fortunate. Aftermath on New Terra, celebrations continued for days. 3 colony worlds that had faced annihilation now stood secure. The colonists who had watched their lone defender face impossible odds now understood what that ship represented. Humanity was no longer the newcomer species learning from older civilizations. They were equals, perhaps more than equals. The Defiant remained on patrol in the new Terra system for 3 weeks. Captain Marcus Reed and his crew became instant celebrities, though they avoided publicity as much as possible. Their mission was not about fame, but about ensuring humanity's survival and security. Back on Earth, President Okafor addressed humanity in a broadcast that reached all human settlements. Today, we stand at a turning point in our history. For years, we have worked in secret, developing capabilities to ensure our security in a dangerous galaxy. The Kryn Empire forced us to reveal these capabilities sooner than we preferred. But the result demonstrates that humanity can defend itself and defend our values. We did not seek conflict. We do not celebrate violence. But we will never allow ourselves to be victims. We will never surrender to threats. We will stand firm, and we will prevail. The galaxy now knows this truth about humanity. Admiral Kimani briefed the military command on next steps. We have 6 more ships in various stages of construction, all equipped with similar capabilities to the Defiant. Additionally, we are developing countermeasures against potential attempts to copy our technology. Our advantage is temporary unless we maintain our technological edge. Elena Torres met with ambassadors from multiple species, seeking to establish stronger relationships with humanity. The Pelorans, humanity's previous allies, now sought formal defense treaties. The Manther Confederacy proposed extensive trade agreements. Even some former skeptics approached with offers of cooperation and exchange, but not everyone viewed humanity's demonstration positively. In secret communications, several military powers discussed the implications. The Kryn Empire, humiliated by their defeat, began covert efforts to steal human technology. Other civilizations worried about humanity's growing power and started forming quiet alliances to balance potential human aggression. Marcus Reed understood these dynamics. Standing on the Defiance Bridge 3 weeks after the confrontation, he looked at the stars and considered the future. "We have shown them what we can do," he said to Priya, who stood beside him. "Now comes the harder part, living with the consequences." Priya nodded. "We have made them fear us. Fear can lead to respect or hatred. We need to ensure it leads to the former." "That is not our responsibility," Marcus replied. "We are military. We defend humanity. Diplomats like Ambassador Torres handle the rest." "But our actions created this situation," Priya pointed out. "We must understand the implications." Marcus smiled slightly. "I do understand them. Humanity is no longer the weak newcomer. We are now a power to be respected and feared. That changes everything. It creates opportunities and dangers in equal measure. But I would rather face dangers as a strong species and opportunities as a weak one." The Defiant prepared to return to Earth for refitting and crew rotation. Her mission was complete. The galaxy had learned its lesson. Humanity could defend itself. The mockery had stopped. The laughter had ended, and in its place came something far more useful: respect, tempered with healthy fear, and an understanding that humanity would never be an easy target again. The galaxy had jeered when humans sent one ship. Now they watched carefully, wondering what else humanity had developed in secret, calculating new relationships, and remembering the lesson the Defiant had taught: never underestimate humanity. Never assume weakness. Never mistake patience for inability or diplomacy for lack of strength. The Defiant had arrived, and everything had changed. Asterisk.